Peace, peace, Galactic family. This is Heyru with Lineage Brand, and I have a special guest with us on today that I feel like I've met for a lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. I actually met her in New York just by eye contact. We're headed to Egypt, right? So I fly from Florida to New York City. I'm going through the airport. I sit next to some people that are just completely obnoxious. I get up, I walk away, I sit down, and I see this amazing person across from me. We lock eyes, and I'm like, there's something different about this connection. There's something here. But at the same time, I knew I would keep looking, and I didn't want to make this wonderful young lady feel uncomfortable. So I walk off. They start boarding the flight. And I decide I'm just gonna wait till everybody gets on, because everybody has a seat assigned to them. I get to my seat, and the same goddess that was sitting in that chair in the airport is right there on the plane sitting next to me. And I was like, wow, I can't believe this. So I sit down and we just start talking. She makes this video and she sends it to her son. And she looks at me as we both pull out these books and she says, "Are you going on this trip with Billy Carson?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And on this trip, I mean, we just continue to have synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity. Well, after this amazing trip to Egypt, we get back and we start talking about our family lineage. And it turns out that our family is from the exact same parish in Jamaica, man. Nadia, the goddess. We've talked probably every week since Egypt, right? That's been 2 years almost. You are a very special person to me. I am so glad to have you on to talk about this special topic, the Anunnaki, which is a conversation that we left in Egypt. Will you go ahead and tell everyone who you are?
Hi, Haru. Thank you so much for having me on your program. And I just want to say that when we were in the airport, I was just like, who is this guy? He's like walking around, and I'm like, what is he doing? Maybe he's going on the same trip. I don't know. And then I'm also looking for another person who texted me prior saying that, they were also going on the trip. And I think we were all in like a group, right? It was in
Yep.
a group chat. And they said, hey, I know you're leaving out of New York. What time are you leaving? And I said, okay, I'm leaving at this time on my flight. I think it was like a 777 flight. I don't remember, but I'm looking for that person. I'm thinking you are that person because you kept on walking back
Oh.
and forth. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's him. And I'm like, I don't know. We walk on the plane and I'm sitting right next to him.
Yeah, it was so
That's
crazy,
funny.
it was so crazy.
But yeah, my name is Nadia Mundala, and I love this conversation about ancient Egypt by trade. Yeah, I am an accountant. I do real estate. I do so many different things. But by trade, I am an accountant and a tax professional. And this is where I geek out. This is where I nerd out with the conversations of the Anunnakis and the ancient ones. Like this conversation really lights me up, I guess. And yeah, we've been talking and having all these conversations. I'm not so much into the synchronicities as much as Heru.
I
I
know
just
she
think
ain't.
we're experiencing life and he makes all these deep connections and I appreciate it because I'm like, oh, I didn't get that connection, but okay, let me listen. Let me see if I can,
Yeah.
get as deep as he gets into the synchronicities of connections. I do believe we're all connected through the one power, the source God
Yep.
power. I think we're all connected through that power. So yeah, I'm just not able to connect it as well as you do.
Well, the story speaks for itself. You know, the story speaks for itself.